quantity A and quantity B. So 9, 10, and 11. And quantity B. Okay? Now in quantity A we have 3 times 5 plus 6 divided by -1. Okay? Or we have 3 times 5 plus 6 divided by -1. Now, in order to do this, we go through and we have to figure out which is quantity A, which is quantity B, and then we make our answer, which will find out which one is greater. So let's go through and do each one separately. Quantity A, we use the method of the order of operations, and we have 3 times, because parentheses are here, 11, because that's what 5 plus 6 is, divided by, I don't know why I did it so long. That's better. -1. Now, for this case, it doesn't matter whether you do the division or multiplication together. Either way, it's to be the same. So I'm going to do from left to right because it's the same area. So 3 times 11, which is 33, divided by -1, which means it's -33. Okay, so this is for quantity A. We'll come back to that later. Now for this case, there is no actual parentheses, so you can either do the multiplication or the division. But for me, I'll go left to right because it seems easier for me. Then we have 3 times 5, which is 15. Then we have plus. Then we have 6 divided by -1, which is -6. So this essentially right here will mean 15 minus 6, which is 9. So if you're trying to figure out which one is more, we'll put this right here, quantity B. Which one is greater? Either it's negative 33 or 9. 9 is greater than -33. So you say that quantity B is greater. And that's your answer for number 9. Okay? Let's go on to the next one. Okay, so now for quantity A we have an equation. So the equation is this. X minus 4 to the third plus 11 equals -16. Okay? And the quantity that we got for this is X for A, for quantity A, and -4 for quantity B. Now in order to do this, we need to figure out what is X, because we have a quantity for quantity B already, it's already given to us. So now we need to figure out what is quantity A, okay? So in order to do this, we have, to figure out X, we'll go through and do it this way. We have X minus 4 to the third, we're going to subtract 11, and we get equals -27. So now, what we can do here now is this. We can take this right here and we can either erase it or we can do the cube root, which is this, for both. Okay? So when it comes down to it, you need to find the cube root of that. So what times itself 3 times will give us -27. When you do that, this right here will go and balance out to 1. So you leave left with X minus 4 equals, and then we figure out that -3 would be the answer to this question. Okay? So, and then that's simplified. Now we know that that's right. If you want to, you could always double check by doing it manually. -3 times -3 times -3. We have -3 times -3 is 9 times -3, which equals -27. Just in case. Okay? Now all we have to do is solve for X. So what we'll do is we'll add 4 to get X by itself, and X equals 1. So when we come down to it, X equals 1, we can substitute whatever is X down here and put as 1. So this would mean that quantity A would be 1. And so when you look at it, 1 is greater than -4. You say quantity A is greater. And that's how you finish number 10. Let's go on to our last one. Let's get this one. This one's a little bit longer. Okay. 11. Now this one, for 11, we have two equations, and we have quantity A and B, which are each different variable that we have. So in this case, we have the equation. I'll put it up here first. We have two equations actually. We have 2x plus y equals 10. Okay? Then we have 3x minus 2y equals 1. And then our quantities are quantity A is x and quantity of B is y. So in order to figure out which one is which, we need to figure out what the number is for each of those variables. Kind of like how we did with x in the last one, in number 10, we got to do both x and y for number 11. So when we look at these right here, you see that there's some that we have similarities with. So for me, I look at 2x and 3x. When it comes to multiplying by 3/2, that might be a little difficult for some people. But I see that there's a y and 2y. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take these, set these both equal, and I'm going to subtract them. So we have 2 times 2x plus y, in parentheses, equals 2 times 10. Because you want to do the whole thing for both sides. You got to multiply this side and this side by 2. And then the reason why I do this is because there's a -2 here, and I want one of the variables to cross out. Okay? So then we still have the original at the bottom, 3x minus 2y equals 1. Okay? So let's distribute that to each of these, and we get 4x minus 2 or plus 2y equals 20. And then down here we shall still subtract 3x minus 2y equals 1. So when we do this, we cross it out. You see all this right here? This crosses out so that the y's are gone. So now we have 4x minus 3x, which is x. And then we have 20 minus 1, which equals 21. So we found out that x equals 21. So we'll put 21 here for quantity A and go from there. So now what we're going to do is this. We're going to figure out what y is. But instead of going through and doing it the hard way, we're going to go through here and just submit this 21 into any of the x's in either one of these. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 21, we're going to do this one because it seems easier. 2 times 21 plus y equals 10. So when we do that, we have 42 plus y equals 10. So we subtract 42, and y will equal -32. So now we're going to get this, and it's now -32. We can see that quantity A is larger. So we say quantity A is greater. Okay? So that's all the questions that we have for this week. I'll post some more on Monday. Don't be afraid to go through and like, comment, share. Follow me on Instagram. I also have a Facebook page. And every month, and every last Friday of the month, I'll go through and have a networking event where we can just talk. So have a cup of coffee if you like coffee, or tea like me, or hot chocolate, especially if they don't have tea there. And go through there and we'll just have a nice little talk about what's going on. If you want to do one-on-ones with me, which I do offer that, you can look at my Facebook page and also my website at GMAT and GRE mathmadesimple.com. You can see the programs I have for 2 to 3 months. So you can go through in there and I can have one-on-one personalized work with you, so you know what you need to work on, what you don't need to work on, or just maybe you need, in general, the whole thing. But either way, it'll be fine-tuned to what your needs are and what your strengths and weaknesses are. I also have a membership which I do for $49 a month, which will be basically will be more accountability and self-paced. If you're interested in doing that, hit out the website as well. If you like it, follow me and like me on here, and join my group on Facebook. Okay? Until on Monday, when I go through and post some more questions, I'll talk to y'all later.